Hey, it's your favorite lady, Black Empress, the one with the gap in the front and the fatty in the back and the mind that always loves to stack the knowledge. How you guys doing today? So I thought about getting all glossed up and glammed up before I got on here, but then I decided I just wanted to come as I am. So I am here. The last time we had talked, we were talking about the myths and things. It's been a while since I've been on here. I cannot lie. I am not the best with this recording thing. So I am trying so hard to break and build new habits and break old habits. Right now, I am in school for doing it online to receive my entrepreneurship. This is my second attempt right now to receiving my entrepreneurship degree or certificate. So I'm trying now to completely finish it, complete it, and get the ball rolling in this direction that I'm trying to go with it. So yeah, right now I'm working on an assignment dealing with the Moxie and how I get up and go to get ready for my day or to get ready to do stuff like this or for a performance or for a presentation. And it made me sit back and really think, like, do I really have a ritual or a routine that I do for this? And at first when I thought about it, I was like, I don't. I usually just wing it, like not so much wing it, but I just let the flow, honestly. I've noticed when I've written things down and it came time to actually present it or speak it or do any of those things in regards to it, the energy just isn't the same. Like, I'll read it and my energy is still not the same as what when I wrote it. So now I have a new energy, new feel, new touch, new everything with it, and I just go. So I wanted to come on here because this assignment kind of had me stumped for a bit. I received it like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It's due tonight, and I'm just now actually about to write it. So like I said before, I'm trying to break old habits and build new habits. Procrastination is amongst me, and I know this, and I have now had to accept procrastination is one of my guilty pleasures, especially when a task or a situation or an assignment seems too hard to tackle, or it doesn't seem to come to me as smooth and quickly or easy as everything else. So I tend to procrastinate because low-key I'm kind of feeling intimidated about it. And that took me a minute to announce out loud and to accept for myself. So now you guys know. um, so let's see what I have written so far. So far, I needed to come up with a name for my ritual. I needed to come up with at least 4 steps that could be repeated in regards to my ritual. Now, when they did the assignment, they said in regards to prepping for a presentation, performance, live performance, singing, whatever it is that you ended up needing to do. So for me, because I suffer badly from ADHD, anxiety, PTSD, depression, small case of bipolar disorder, every day that I walk out the house and every day that I wake up, low key is kind of a performance for me. Because in all reality, majority of the days and majority of the time, I don't want to get out of bed. It sucks, but I have to say it out loud. Majority of the day, majority of the time, I don't want to get out of bed. Majority of the day, majority of the time, I don't even want to be here. I wish I could just be floating up, watching everybody do what they're doing and just guide as I can. Like, I don't always want to be a physical body on this earth majority of the time. So that was something that I had to face as well. So when I started writing this, it was just like certain things, like I'm saying to you guys, because this is a business course, I don't want to put all that in there. If it was just my English course, then for sure I'd probably put that in there. And pretty soon I'll shine light onto what I'm writing about in my English course as well. But so what I've written so far, I'll give you guys a peekaboo of it. I call my ritual the Queen Has Arrived routine. because it's what I do to slow my racing mind and get me to lighten up. I have ADHD, anxiety, PTSD, and depression. Every day is a performance when I step out of my house. So here are the 4 steps in my ritual. Not all, just 4 to get you started. The first one, I pick a record or I pick a show. Because at the end of the day, my mind is already talking to me 50 miles an hour. So to hear something else, especially with a rhythm and a beat or with other words and other subject lines at times, helps me navigate and focus as to what it is I'm actually trying to do. So that noise in the background, basically. Then once I've done that, I pick my record or I pick my show that I want to play in the background while I'm doing what I'm doing. I start to break it down and roll it up. So at the end of the day, for me, this is my Mary Jane. For me, that's my medicine. That's what I do to help. Ready for the day. So I break it down and I roll it up. This is while the music is playing. This is while the show is going in the background. While I'm breaking it down, 9 times out of 10, if my music is playing, I'm lipping and singing the music as I'm going. I'm getting my mind right. I'm getting my mind at ease. Breaking it down, making sure I don't drop anywhere, making sure I don't get too much of the keef on my fingers, things of that sort. And then I don't smoke in my house. I've got a daughter. And on top of that, too, I can't smoke in my house because it's a no smoking property. I'm not going to lie, I'd be raining out here a lot. So I would smoke in the bathroom, but I'm not allowed to, so I don't. So I go outside and I find me a nice little area where the trees are sitting nice and the breeze is blowing nice. Then I can have my daughter go outside and play, and I can still watch her. And once I find my spot, I cop a squat. I put my blanket down. Then I cop a squat. Then I spark. I inhale, exhale, and I let it all flow in. And that's my woosah moment. So for me, that's my ritual. Now, will it slide for class? I don't know. But at the end of the day, me being an entrepreneur, my truth is going to be my brand. So at the end of the day, I don't feel like I should have to hide that from anybody, nor am I going to hide it from anybody. So I do what I have to do. And the examples and stuff that he showed before, there was nothing absolutely at all wrong with it. Nothing at all was wrong with it. But for me, it just was like, those things are not for me. I'm learning again in life how to open up more and accept myself more. And I've gotten over the beating myself up for the things that I've done, for the things that I can't change. And it just sometimes gets to a point like my growth is my strength. And I realized for sure and for certain, I really do a lot of the time enjoy being by myself. Like, I enjoy being by myself. And it's not because I couldn't be around other people. It's just because the place that I'm in my life right now, the mind space, the spiritual space that I'm in, I don't have the ability to be around fake and foolery. I don't have the ability to be around sugar-coated environments. Like, I could, but I don't want to be honest with you. I don't want to be in those spaces because every time I've been in those spaces, every time I turn around, the worst always comes out of it. And then I know you're like, oh, well, aren't you in a relationship? I am in a relationship, to be honest. And I feel like for me personally, it's not the easiest thing to do, especially with me being a Virgo, for sure. I love and I love my partner, but I love my space and I love my sanity. And I feel like a lot of the time people don't like to acknowledge that out loud or say it out loud because they're fearful of what people will think or how they feel. But like at the end of the day, for me, if I don't say it, then I show it. And when I show it, then you start to assume it. And if you start to assume it and then you broadcast your assumptions onto me, then that causes a bit of an issue. Because at the end of the day, all you have to do is ask me and you'll get a response. Nothing, I just am too grown to be sneaky and too mature now to be delusional. So at the end of the day, when it's done, it just frustrates me. Like I know and accept my flaws, and I'm still learning full-fledged to accept and learn my weakness and my strengths. But my weaknesses I know like the back of my hand. So when I come across any person, especially if it's in a relationship, sense of space, I try to let my flaws be known ahead of time, because majority of the time that is what will cause an issue with me and another person. I don't like to argue. I am not a confrontational type of person. If the smoke comes, will I accept it? You damn right I will. I'll inhale that motherfucker and I'll blow it out like a dragon. But I don't go looking for smoke. I don't go looking for confrontation. I'll talk my shit. I'll get annoyed, whatever. But I won't go looking for nonsense. So when it comes to me and it's presented to me, I'm going to address it. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to nip it in the bud. If you see me out in the streets and we're out at a party or something like that, here and there you might see me do a little but I'm not gonna ever be the one that's gonna be all out there like that all the time. On occasion, that will be me. I'm such an introvert that when I do pop out to be an extrovert, it just be going, but new in the environment, new around the people, it's gonna take me a minute to warm up. It's gonna take me a minute to really stretch my legs and be all the way myself. But I'm always gonna be peeping the scenes. I'm always gonna be looking around. I'm always gonna be observing. And when it comes to personal relationships and stuff, it takes me a minute to really cut and get rid of people. When it comes to business and my money and my time, you get 2 times with me to show me anything outside of what I need to see properly. And then after that, I'll remove myself accordingly. If it gets to a point where I have to say something to you, I can't promise how it's going to come out, because at the end of the day, if I told you nicely and I showed you respect and I gave you and did my due diligence and you chose to turn around and mess up, my reaction no longer has to stay inside of a limit. I'll react however the hell I choose fit. So when I did this assignment, it was just like, man, there's no real prep myself to go out and perform or go out and do a speech and this and this and this. I just listened to my spirit and I let it flow. Like I know a few years ago, I went to Seattle for when the Black Lives Matters movement first originated. And I was out there in Seattle and I was doing the march. And I have really bad social anxiety. Like I said, I'm usually pretty shy, But my spirit, when they asked who wanted to say something on the mic, my spirit led me to take that mic and speak in front of hundreds of people with no script, no cards, no knowing. I didn't know what the hell I was going to say. But when I picked up that mic, I just let it come out. I was shaking in my boots. I was sweating on my forehead. But at the end of the day, I was there for a bigger purpose. I was there for something outside of myself. So for me to hide amongst myself and not do what my spirit told me to, I felt like I'd be doing myself a disservice. So I stood there shaking it all and I said my piece. And at the end of the day, I didn't know if anyone would back what I said, if they would agree with it, if they had a problem with it. It didn't even matter to me. I didn't care. And I let it all out. And all those hundreds of people cheered me on and they agreed with me. And we marched proudly all those blocks. And that was the day that showed me fear is temporary. Fear is temporary. Getting teary because I didn't realize how much this would make me feel some type of way. But it's like I've always been alone. I've always been by myself. I've literally always had to figure it out. There's never really been a backup plan or somebody to come whisk me off my feet and save me. I've literally always been my own best friend. So when I had my daughter, that level of fear of giving birth to another person and having to provide, nurture, care, support, protect a whole nother person was really scary for me. And I knew if I could conquer that fear, I could take on anything. It wouldn't be easy, but I could do it. And my daughter gets annoyed when I tell her, but I let her know. I said, "You're my reason for breathing. You're my reason for still being here." Because before I had her, I was in a real dark place. I had attempted to take my life 2 to 3 times. And every time I came really close to actually doing it, a voice spoke to me and it just stopped me. I was almost murdered by an ex 2 times. And when it came close to seeing that light, another voice spoke into my head and I wouldn't let it happen. I chose me. So doing this assignment right now, on top of that too, my English assignment is assignment of reflection, growth, and improvement, so it's like a lot of emotional things taking place. And the inspiration behind it that they say is to just think of a business place and to think of a writing point and things like that. But it's just like, you don't know until you have to sit back and think. So with these assignments that have came up, they've really hit home and really hit hard. With the writing assignment that I'm doing right now, I am discussing the earlier parts of my life that introduced me to writing. Because when I was younger, I used to write short stories and poetry and stuff. I was molested as a child by my babysitters. They were sisters. And for a long time, I never knew how to say it out loud. I never knew what to say or how I felt about it. But I know when I was younger, there was just a lot of things that would happen. My stepdad was abusive as hell. My mom was in the military, so she was around when she could be, but she was gone a good chunk of the time. And we moved a lot. So being born in Germany and raised part of my life in Germany and stuff, on a military base and things of that sort, there was people, but it wasn't always a lot of people that looked like me, So I just had to figure out and protect myself by any means. I've got family and stuff, but again, military, so they was never really around any place that we went. At a young age, I had to learn how to defend myself and protect myself and adjust as to everything that I went through and where I was going. When I was in Germany, I was molested by my babysitters, like I said, the 2 sisters. Germany is the first time I came across my first racial discrimination and heard my first racial slur. And at that time, I was in the middle of Girl Scouts, and it was from my scout leader's daughter that did it. And I beat the brakes off of her in the middle of Girl Scouts and got kicked out, But it was just like, at the end of the day, being a child hearing the N-word, didn't know what it meant, but my spirit knew that it wasn't right, and I reacted. So ever since I was a kid, I've always been very violent. I've always been very, "Oh, you said what?" And bop, 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 bop. And I was overseas. When I came to the States, it was like a catwalk, like cakewalk. I barely had to pick up my hands and do anything, because at the end of the day, I didn't take nothing happening out here serious. But it was like, too, when I came to the States, that's when I really tapped into my vices. I started drinking at the age of 11. I would drink and sneak and drink my mom's liquor out of her alcohol cabinet. too easy because she wasn't a drinker. So one of the scenarios that I chose to completely write about, I introduced some of my traumas that introduced me to alcohol. And I decided to break down a scenario that happened when I was 27. I was 27 and my mom asked me when we was at her house, she said, why does my Grey Goose bottle taste like water? Now, mind you, I'm not good with like liquid measurements or whatever, so I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to just try to give you a visual. So this is the bottom of the bottle. This is the top of the bottle. It was a big goose bottle, like this big. Filled, to the little rim or whatever. Not the rim, but the little rim of the wide part of it. So she asked me, she said, why does it taste like water? And I'm sitting here like, how the hell am I supposed to know? You feel me? I'm 27 when she's asking me this question. How am I supposed to know? Then she like pulls the bottle to show me. She's like, look, it's just water in here. And it was like seeing the bottle gave me a flashback to when I was in high school. So my 10th grade year, I have parent childhood courses where the class where you get the fake baby. And that teacher, she was the morning first period teacher. So it was like everything was pretty lax. You came in late, it was whatever. But if you chose to leave after getting attendance done, you just better not get caught up by no other teachers, and you better not get caught. Or you better let them know that you was just doing your own shit. Don't make it seem like the teacher let you do what you're doing type thing, So it was real lax, real chill. All of 10th grade year, 11th grade, I was drunk. Majority of my high school years. I was completely fucking wasted. So that Grey Goose bottle was mainly my mix for the morning every time I was starting in my first period class. And there's some other young ladies. We'll call one of them Latifah. We'll call another one Raquel. We would get the Dixie cups that the teacher had in her classroom, and we would just pour ourselves little shots, you feel me, and mix it with like a little apple juice or whatever the hell we had that morning, and just be throwing them back. By the age of 14, I was a functioning alcoholic. I was a functioning alcoholic by the age of 14. I was in school drunk as hell and nobody ever fucking knew. The kids that see me drink, they knew. But as far as adults, supervisors or anything like that, nobody ever knew I was drunk. My own mom never even knew that I was drunk majority of the time. Then I want to say mid 10th grade year, the liquor was just not enough. You feel me? Like I needed something else. And I started needing money in my pocket. My mom was on a lot of medications at the time, and she never really used her painkillers and stuff like that. So I figured out how to get her oxys and her perks and all them things, and I started selling them, and I started snorting them, and I started taking them in the middle of science class. Broke the pill down and just put it in my nose. After that, I was functioning. I was good. I felt numb. I felt complacent. I felt like I was able to hide from myself in the midst of being in myself around everybody else. So after that ended up happening, that's when I started picking up weed. I got introduced to it like on a stance of actually smoking. When I was like 10 or whatever, I like hit a blunt once, but I didn't like it at all. But now at this time, I'm like 14, already drunk, all that stuff. I needed a stimulant, like a balancer. There we go. I needed a balancer. So then I picked up the blunt. And ever since I picked up the blunt, I ain't really ever put it down. But it was like I picked up the blunt, then I started smoking cigarettes. And I was just active. I was active. And then as soon as I graduated, couldn't nobody tell me nothing. I'm in every club all the time, every weekend. I'm at work during the week. The night before my first day at work, I got blackout white girl wasted. Then woke up on my homegirl couch. Nah, I didn't even remember what the fuck happened, but I know I woke up at like 7:35 and I had to be at work at 8:15. And I was in Lakewood and I had to get on Fort Lewis. So for anybody that lives in Washington, you know that the Lakewood to Fort Lewis little drive is only like 15, 20 minutes on a decent day. But in the morning time, you competing with the doctors, the nurses, the soldiers, the captains, all of them. If they don't live on base, you competing with them to get on base. So I'm over here near Mount Tahoma High School, trying to get all the way to main base, Backstreet. When I woke up, I'm still drunk. Like, I don't have time to take a shower. I don't have time to process what's happening. I threw on my clothes. I hopped in my whip. I'm speeding to work. I'm drunk as hell. The store that I worked at sold popcorn. I didn't have no lunch or nothing. I had no money in my pocket. I barely even had my ID with me, but I knew I needed to be where I needed to be. So when I got to work, walked in that door, about threw up all over the damn floor, over the ground. I was late. It was like 10, 15 minutes late. Mind you, I was late to my interview the first time too, and they still fucking hired me. So when I got there and I smelled the popcorn, damn near threw up all over the floor. They gave me instructions of what to do. I'm at work with my head down so low, my mind spinning, racing, everything. I keep smelling liquor, but I don't know where I smell the liquor whole time. It's me smelling like a fucking fish house, basically. Like, I am liquored down. It's coming out my pores. It's coming out of me. It's just like, yo, I couldn't. Like I said, I picked up the blunt. I never put it down. I had no fear in my heart, and I could care less about a fucking consequence. So as soon as I got off work, I didn't have no liquor on me, but I took that blunt and I rolled that blunt in the car, and I sparked that bitch right when I got out of the gate, and I went straight to the house. I was done. It was a wrap after that. But I was able to function. It was just I had no food in my stomach that night, and then I didn't have no food in my stomach the next day, so it was like everything was just. But I said that to say this. Those were my vices as a kid. I would cut myself. I always had a little razor on me when I was in school, and I would just get upset and I would just start cutting myself. And for a long time, the scars never left. They stayed there, and some of them are still pretty faint. But I couldn't feel. Like, it was just like the world was a numb space to me. I know I'm babbling, but this video was just really just come back and then give some insight as to where I'm at, what I'm up to. And then I plan on going live at least once a week from here on out until I actually show face to a full direction as to where I want to take my YouTube channel. But I know I had lost myself with all the stuff that I've been through. When I was younger, though, I was always recording, always taking pictures, always doing, like, wasn't always doing the right thing, but I was always doing something. And I run into some of those people nowadays that I knew from back then, and it's so different, like, it's still never no bad blood, no nothing, but I just see them and I see me, and I know I'm not the same person that I was back then. And even though I'm not financially or career-wise in the place that I want to be, I still know I've grown. I still know I've elevated. I still know I've conquered a lot of shit in my life. And I still know because my reaction to things is different. Like, I'll cut you out in a heartbeat, but I'm least likely to put my hands on you unless you put them on me. And even then, I might give you grace, but never know. But I say that just to say, like, when you start to lose yourself and you start to try to find yourself and then you lose yourself again, just know it's a part of life. There's no space or need to judge yourself. There's no space or need to feel less than. Just know you're not the only person going through it. Like, it just looks different on everybody else. And It took me a long time to realize that, to know that, and respect that, and be genuine with it, and feel good with it. And I'm still every day still trying to do that. But it's just, I feel now it's important to show truths compared to lies, because the world that we're in now, there's already been enough lies that the foundation is starting to crack. So I just say my story, pieces of my story, to come out so that people know it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to have struggles. I was a functioning alcoholic for a good chunk of my young years. I was a pillhead for a good chunk of my young years. How did I stop? That'll more than likely be another video that we'll talk about. But it was just, I had to accept those things. And I'm 32 years old right now. And I've just, as of within the last month and a half to 2 months, accepted the fact that I am an alcoholic and a recovering addict. So it's just like, that's my truth. You feel me? That's my truth. And I accept it and I believe it and I understand it. Saw, you guys ever saw the show Ginny and Janine in Georgia? Um, the little girl has the rubber band things. I started with that and then I let it go for a while, but I more than likely will start it back up because, as I know, not just for me, but for other people, life has been life, and there's that orange man that's been touching stuff that's been making us feel real uneasy in this world, and it takes a lot to not resort back to your old ways. It takes a lot to not think that people want to see you fail. And even if they do want to see you fail, it takes a lot to not let that be your frontal lobe thought. It takes a lot to not care what other people think and to just move freely. So I just pray that everybody gets in a space where they move to their own beat of their own drum. And everybody else is just an audience. They can either go or come, but it's a free show, because at the end of the day, I won't stop doing what I do for anybody else. So I'm going to complete my assignment, but I want to say thank you for those that are watching and will be watching, for just hearing me, babble for a bit. I've learned a lot about myself. I hope you hearing some of the things that I've learned about myself help you sit back and relax and review yourself and know that a space of reflection is a space of growth, not a space of negativity or a space of stump. It's not a space either for other people to join in and give negative and evil comments. It's a space for you to realize and agree with yourself upon the things that you've done, be in control of the things that you can change, and let go of the things that you can't change. And to let it be known that there's no such thing as a perfect human. If we was all perfect, there'd be no need to have the word normal. And even then, normal isn't a thing. So if I leave you with anything, I really want to make sure I leave you with this. Stay true to yourself. Love yourself. Without your sins and your flaws, you would not be you. So be thankful for the ugly side of you, because we're not all pretty. One of my new favorite time artists now to listen to is Jelly Roll. And he has a song called Unpretty. And that song forever gets played at least once a day in my book, for the simple fact it keeps me humbled. It keeps me a parent. It keeps me reflecting. It keeps me out of a space of comfort and a space of growth. So blessed be, one love to all. And I pray to see your comments and see this video shared a few times. And if you really got love for your girl, you feel me, hold me accountable in the comments. Keep reminding me to post. Keep reminding me to tell my story. And I'll do the same for you. If you're on YouTube and you're still trying to figure out your lane and where you want to be and how you want to do it, message me. Let's connect. Because at the end of the day, I'm not stopping nobody's boat. I'm just trying to add to the float. You feel me? So I love all of you. Have a beautiful, blessed day. God be with you in Grand Rising.